All right, we back again with another episode of this whatever podcast with your host Deric Swing and the gang again, man. We back. Got my boy Eric and Kenny here in Orlando down there in the cut. They can introduce themselves again if you haven't heard of us before. Start off with Eric.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Eric Carter, E Money, aka for short. I'm back at it. Been away for a while, but you know we returning. Got some interesting comments, topics. So yeah.
hilarious. Kenny, Smitty with the X. That's what most people call me. You get me?
Black Knight.
You know, coming in like a thief in the night. You get me?
Thief in the night. Take anything but some.
Say it.
All right, I'm Orlando. That's my debut on the interwebs. They called me Moneybags back in high school. Not really. And you know, it's cool to be here. Cool.
Psyched, man.
So psyched.
Psyched, man.
Psyched, man.
A lot of bullshit been happening the past couple of weeks, man. I wouldn't say bullshit, but a lot of stuff been going on in the world lately. Especially with that Neuralink shit, man. I don't know if you guys heard.
So I was looking at your computer.
Yeah.
I was looking at Cyberpunk, and that game literally is all about Neuralink.
Literally, I'm glad. This is what I came to talk about.
I love that.
You watched it? You watched the show?
I got the game. Bro. That shit's tough.
Yo, that shit is really like a future, dog. It's like straight up.
Little body modifications you can do and shit, bro. Tough.
Yeah, it is crazy because Neuralink they're gonna try to start putting these chips in people's heads. They just had a fucking event, a recruiter event to try to get people who wants to be recruited to put chips in their brains. And Elon Musk,
shout out Elon for that, man.
Elon Musk apparently he wants to be one of the first people to get one in his brain too. So
I mean, he rich.
We'll see if we do that.
I do it. I mean, I got billions on billions on billions of dollars. Shit, he's probably bored at this point.
Yeah. So
when you that rich, bro, you get bored, bro.
You can't spend that much money. You have to find shit. You have to make up shit to buy.
This dude has space money. He's like, I'm done here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you got that kind of money, then you just start like whatever comes to your mind, you try to make come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like with the Neuralink thing, I would say it's an inevitable thing because there aren't a whole lot of species on Earth that utilizes tools to achieve some kind of task that they're trying to do. But the ultimate goal for a tool is to implement it onto yourself. And a lot of times that happens evolutionary wise, like maybe two species come together or a species and a tool comes together, they make their body better. And since we have technology, it was always gonna somehow make its way to like combine the two people. Mm-hmm. And this is like, you know, one of our first signs of seeing that.
I do agree because especially what you were saying with evolution, we have integrated technology so much that we're gonna have to keep up with it. But evolution wise, like not too much stuff has changed other than like some features. Like I heard that our jaw is weaker than how it used to be because we're not chewing hard food. Our bodies is not like really growing, but we're gonna have to adapt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's inevitable that the Neuralink stuff, like we're just gonna integrate with technology.
Have y'all played? I know you've seen the show. Have you guys played the game?
I haven't played the game.
So wait, let's explain what first Neuralink is really.
Oh, go ahead.
The Neuralink is it's basically a chip that Elon Musk wants to put in people's brains to help them with motor skills and stuff. People with cerebral palsy and other dementia, other health issues involving the brain and shit. So that's why he's trying to get this made to help people like that. And only reason I brought it up because it kind of plays on Cyberpunk. I feel like Cyberpunk plays on Neuralink. Whereas Cyberpunk, so there's two megacorps, right? Is Militech and you know the other one?
I don't remember that one.
Arasaka.
Oh, Arasaka.
Arasaka and Militech. There's be two like fucking tech companies and they're megacorps, and they basically run the fucking world. And it's the same thing as Neuralink. They have chips you put in people's brains, and you could literally put on parts like cyber parts or whatever. They call it chrome and shit like that. Like a robotic arm or a robotic leg or whatever like you want. It doesn't matter what size, what kind of. You can have guns, tools, all type of shit on it.
And the cool thing about it is like in the game, like one of the I don't remember if it's either you or your partner that you're with at the time has something going on with them, like something's wrong. Actually, no, it's you. You're like, I'm not feeling too well. And the doctor can just plug in and just see, okay, what's going on with your body? You know, oh shit, your eyes are kind of fucked up. Here, take this out. Here's some new eyes. How do these feel?
You get new eyes implanted and shit.
You
It's
know,
crazy,
like.
And that kind of like, I could see that being the future. That's why I brought it up, like Cyberpunk playing off of it, because that's what Neuralink, you basically able to do shit like that. Like somebody got a fucking arm that's gone, they could give them a robotic arm connected to their fucking neural system, and the chip will fucking control it. Like your brain could control that fucking arm without issues. So, and that's what basically Cyberpunk is. Like all these people just getting this stuff put on their bodies. They even cutting off limbs and shit just to get a fake arm, like, so they could fucking be powerful or stronger or whatever.
Another thing, like from the game at least, you can learn shit like instant, like downloading shit to your computer. Which
Elon just basically said he wants to happen with Neuralink. You could be able to download information quick like that. Be able to speak a different language, learn martial arts, whatever, just fast. And that's what happened in Cyberpunk too. Like if they want to learn martial arts, they just download MMA in their fucking brain chip. Or they want to know a different language, they just download it into their brain. It's kind of crazy. I feel like that's going to be the case, because that's what Elon basically said. He wants people to communicate without fucking even talking to each other. Like,
I mean, I think that shit's fire and useful to an extent, but I also think it's hella trash.
It's crazy, right? Because in Cyberpunk, the problem with the chips is you can fucking override it. Like, you can override it and you can goddamn
get hacked.
You get hacked, yeah, and it could like overwork it and you fucking could die. Like on the show, the main character David, he gets all these different body parts. It's all like, robotic parts and shit, but his brain couldn't handle it and shit. And they go crazy. They call it cyberpsychos.
Cyberpsychosis or something.
Yeah, cyberpsychosis or something. Yeah, it's when they start going crazy and they don't control their body no more. Basically, like they're not even there. They just in and out of like reality and shit. And they do whatever the fuck they want, and they're not conscious of it. It's kind of crazy. And I feel like that could be the future, bro. Like if you get chips in our brains and motherfuckers just start putting on robotic arms, like. How many people gonna be like, oh fuck this arm, let me get a robotic one where I could punch the fuck out of somebody or something crazy? I don't know. It's kind of crazy though. And like in the show, David go to like this fucking janky ass surgeon who like puts up all the chrome on his body and shit, and he told him like this chrome shit could fuck you up. He don't believe it, and throughout the whole season, he's just getting more and more and more like robotic body parts, and it's fucking him up in the end. I feel like that could happen too in like real life if we ever get to that point, which I think we will. I just think it's crazy because humans would definitely like that shit. Niggas would be like, oh, you put a chip in my brain. Like the rich people will, at least.
I mean,
people will like it, but I mean, it's very obvious that no amount of technology that we have or anything in the near future is going to be better than how our body was designed.
Yeah.
So I see it as like technology, like, scientific advancement giving up on the human body because they can't figure it out. So they're trying to make their own thing. So no computer has the amount of processing capabilities as our brain. Mm-hmm. So why would we connect an inferior like product onto something that's better? Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be like, trying to watch a VHS tape like at the movie theater, like at a Dolby IMAX or something like that. Yeah. And it like you can do that. It's like, oh look, we're playing a VHS tape on this big screen, but like it's not better than what it already exists type thing. Yeah. And like even though it's still new, we had like the show, like you were describing, we already have examples of like it not being better and like problems that will come. Like a big thing that I've heard people say in the argument, like what if athletes what if they approve bionic enhancements? So now you can't even get accepted into any major league unless you have you have the latest product or the latest this, latest that. And then what if they come up with the first non-human, like let's say robot, to join the league, and now they're in the top whatever. Yeah. So like, it's just like a slippery slope. Like
I was thinking sports could change that, especially like football. Mm-hmm. Like just because of all the brain damage and shit. Like what can you replace it with? Well, those some fucking AI robots out there to play. Like that shit would be wild. That should be wild. It'd be like some fucking what's that boxing shit with the robots?
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it?
Max Steel.
Max Steel, yeah. Like there could be some Max Steel type shit. There's motherfuckers on the field as robots. Like,
well, why do we keep it seems like ultimately with all this technology, we're creating ourselves out of our own picture. So like, oh, the ultimate thing is like, oh, we keep replacing players for this. Oh, why don't we just have a robot fight? Oh, we keep like, we can make this better car, make this better car. Oh, why don't we just make the car drive itself? So like, why is like, it seems like there's an agenda going on. Like, you get people hooked on. It's like, oh, you can see X-ray vision. Like, just get the new eyeball. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, it's like, come get the eye, or I don't know. Like,
beef is an inside joke.
Okay.
You know, we all know what beef is.
Well, we'll tell you later. I'll tell you later.
When the camera cuts, you'll know what beef is.
Okay. But yeah, like, it just seems like if we keep trying to put technology into us, like, it's always just gonna a means to an end. Like, we're getting pushed out. Like, in my opinion, like, I'm definitely anti like Neuralink, all that stuff. I think technology is best used as a tool instead of
a crutch.
Like, instead of like putting it in you.
Yeah.
I feel like, of course, there are the exceptions of like, you know, if somebody's paralyzed, give them like some robot legs, sure. But like, as far as like, I just feel like technology is definitely better served like as a tool, like a computer or whatever technology will go in the future, like
to help us elevate humanity, not fucking integrate with it necessarily. Right. I feel like integration is like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like taking the soul away from the human. I don't know.
Right.
Putting on fucking metal parts and shit.
Like imagine like babies being born 100 years from now. Like I've had 3 children, and you know, as soon as the second they're born, they're like, oh, do you want this? Do you want this for your baby? Like circumcision, that kind of stuff. Like imagine if that's like the next child that comes in, it's like, okay, these are all the Neuralinks. Like, you know, which one do you want put into your son? Like that's kind of wild.
That could definitely happen.
Now I feel you. I am to an extent anti Neuralink and all that, and I do think it should be used for a tool. But then you say like it should be used for a tool to advance humanity. Okay, from a human perspective, what is our next step then?
What, I mean, evolution wise?
Yeah.
There is none. I mean, evolution, that shit doesn't work. It doesn't play out like Darwin said it does. At least for humans, it don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, humans been the same for thousands of years. Like face wise, body wise, like not much has really changed. You know, like you just said, like the jaw structure maybe a little bit from eating softer foods, but like evolution, like us changing to something bigger or taller, like it hasn't really happened. You feel me?
So what better way than to make their own evolution and integrate with technology to experience something else?
I feel like this is inevitable though. What? The Neuralink and some shit like Cyberpunk, because speaking of that, we really haven't. Humans are the only like species who like really took that making their tools and technology shit serious. Like this is how we evolved, you know? And that's the only way I see. I mean, I agree with you. I'm still shaky. I'm on the fence with it, but that's the way I see this shit going. It's inevitable for me at this point.
Like some immediate problems that I see is, like you were saying with Darwinism, the biggest thing with that is like I think it's natural selection. So like two crabs, one crab has a big claw, the other one has a small claw. The big claw is gonna, you know, be a better hunter or whatever. So like now all crabs have big claws. Mm-hmm. Like so how that translates with humans is, for a long time only the strongest humans continued on with genetically. And as we continue to advance technology-wise, it's not only the strong that survive. Now the strong and the weak survive. Mm-hmm. So now we created our own unique problem to where, oh snap, like now we have an abundance of quote-unquote weak genes that are going to continue to be here because we have civilized.
Yeah.
That might sound kind of dark, but
no, it's facts. Remember,
weak ass niggas out here.
Yeah,
having
there's
kids.
a lot of weak ass niggas out here having kids. Like it used to be, like only the best men were chosen.
That's true.
To have children, but now anybody can have a kid. You know, and that's why we have like such an infestation of pookies.
Oh shit, he goes
So-
this shit.
Hold on, sorry. Now that's what the hell is a
He do
pookie?
this shit all the time.
We can ask a question who was a Pookie, but when we hear Pookie, we all come up with the same image, okay? And like,
I defined it. Okay.
like well, for an example, like we're sitting on a Pookie's bed right now. So he, like
Okay.
a Pookie is a man who can't provide for himself, and he's actually like a Pookie is like the opposite of what you think of as a man.
Gotcha.
A man who depends on others, a man who is incapable or either unwilling, which might even be worse than unwilling to provide for himself. And to me, that's being extremely weak. And like, there was no, like before all this like modern stuff, there was no like how. Like there was no like, oh, this man left me, this man that. Like those men did exist, like the incapable men, but they were just thrown to the side. Nobody acknowledged them. They're just like, look, this is an inferior person. Like they can do their thing, but we're not gonna like, they can't be at the table. But now everybody is at the table. And a big part of that is like modern medicine and technology and everything. So like now that everybody's at the table, we have to figure, okay, how do we come up with a plan to continue into the future effectively and efficiently while bringing everybody with us?
So it's like we fucking up our own evolution by having the weaker stay around.
Exactly.
In a sense, yeah.
Like in all those movies, when the world is like ending, what do? They build a spaceship or they build something and they got to pick, okay, only the best people get on the spaceship. Everybody else gonna die. But like, what if we had a plan to where, okay, the world is ending. How do we get every single person like to also live? And like, how can you build, like, are you building a spaceship that can hold 7 billion people?
Build a
Like-
computer.
Like that's what we're trying to do with technology. Like we're trying to bring everybody with us, but that's going to bring more issues.
It's very true. Wow, I never thought about it like that though.
I mean, look, when you started talking about it, I really did think about it, especially was given the whole crab thing. You know what I'm saying? The whole crab example. Small claw crabs aren't living, you know, because the ones that can hunt better, they're the ones who got to pass on their genes. And because we're civilized now, that kind of stuff, we don't do hunting and gathering no more.
We see it as like what do you call it? Prehistoric, not prehistoric.
It is prehistoric. We see it as like, yeah, that's
primal,
not,
like primal. Yeah.
We don't see it as that.
Primal
Now it's like
instincts.
our big claw is, yo, where you working? You know what I'm saying?
Or like
What you
this
drive?
dude, or like
where
a
you
dude
live?
who's like 5'2".
Yeah,
Like, you know, that could
yeah,
translate. Like, cause like 100 years ago, if you were 5'2", you're not about to have a kid.
yeah,
Like, but now, like it's different.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. We got a lot more. What do you call it? We have more stuff available to us. I'm trying to find a word for it.
Resources.
Resources.
To make yourself,
Yes. We have more resources.
to make
available
yourself
now.
more desirable. You know. So I mean, look, I'm one of the homies, little homie, buddy. He be doing this thing. I can't really say he's a pookie. He handles his business. he just very, very small.
Well, a lot of this is tolerance and acceptance. And tolerance and acceptance is very key to progression in society, but it always has a downfall. Like when you keep accepting, like, oh, you don't have to only have kids with a man that's rich. You can have kids with a man that's, you know, slightly above the poverty line. It's like, okay, that's tolerance, that's acceptance. Like you're accepting people. But at the same time, like you have to look at the cons that come with that. Like now, are you going to have majority of people in this certain class because of the tolerance of like people are gonna like have a lot of tolerance at a certain level, or you know, because I think that women are the ones who are in charge of moving society forward genetically, so they choose. And if we try to tell people it's okay that this is okay, one is telling women that it's okay to pick men like this, and we're telling men that it's okay to be at this level.
Yeah, that's very true.
My boy spitting.
Spitting facts, man. That's very true.
That is a fact. Like, so like, what would you say? Like, was acceptable? Like what are we accepting now?
So it's kind of like we're accepting and we have
Pause. Hold that thought. You said we're accepting.
Hold on 1 sec.
Somebody's told. Chill. Take a pause for a minute, guys. It's the guy who owned the building, Mr. Freeman, man. Shout out Mr. Freeman. He coming to pick up the trash and stuff. OG Mr. Freeman, man. Shout out Mr. Freeman, man.
Shout out to OG, man. Gotta love Freeman.
All right, where were we at?
Let's talk about
he
tolerance.
asked me
Tolerance, yeah.
acceptance and tolerance. So like before, it was very clear. Like when the main objective for everybody on Earth was survival.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of mindset, you have to make priorities. Like if the world was ending, all of a sudden it's like, okay, only scientists and doctors and the top of the whole world get to live.
The people who really push society, like
Forward, yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, really push humanity forward. Doctors, fucking engineers, all that shit.
Exactly. And once we moved into a society where survival like has changed, like it's not much of like it's not a barbaric sense of survival.
It's not primal no more.
Right.
You
It's
gotta fight.
it's a more modern sense of survival. So now like what you tolerate is better. Like well not what you tolerate is different. So now we're tolerating like, you know, before like let's say like Native Americans, like all men need to know how to like kill a buffalo with their bare hands or with some sort of bow and arrow. Like, do you think they would ever accept a man who couldn't kill a buffalo? Like, what would they do to him? Like, they would probably kick him out of the whole tribe. But like now, let's say like in modern terms, a man who can't provide for himself, do we kick him out? People who choose not to work, people who don't provide anything to society, do we kick them out? No. We continue to give them assistance and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that's wrong. Like, as we progress and we civilize the world more and more in society, we should have more tolerance. But we also have to realize what kind of problems we're building for ourselves. So I think, like an earlier question we said was, how do we move forward the best way? And in my opinion was, we got to figure out how to, like, we can't keep moving forward and leaving all of our problems behind us, because then we have an entire trail of problems. So I think we can move forward, but we still need to fix the problems that we're creating.
It's true.
So how, like, with the people who are poor but we give assistance, how would that be creating a problem in the future? Or like, how's that creating a problem?
You're not encouraging people to work harder.
Yeah, it's messing up evolution. You know, the change that we're supposed to keep going through. That's what he's saying. It's messing up evolution.
Because we're about to post this. We saying people who are in poverty. There's a difference. There's people who are actively trying to do their shit.
Yeah.
Actively. But we all know, we all live in this life. We know it's not easy. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds, hell no.
It's not as easy as we make it seem. We're talking about the people who are like, yo, you know what? I'm not doing shit.
Yeah, I would say like the bottom,
The
like
niggas-
the bottom 10% of people.
Mm-hmm. The people who are not trying to do nothing.
Sitting on that, getting that check from Uncle Tom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not helping nobody.
You know,
They might as well call that communism, you know?
Because
That's what we
if you
talking
relate it to something like hair growth, right? So when you're trying to grow your hair, yeah, you're supposed to shampoo. You're supposed to keep your roots strong, like keep it moisturized and all that stuff. But will your hair grow if you have heat damage or any kind of damage on the ends of your hair? So what are you told to do? Still do that healthiness at your roots, but trim your edges, like trim your ends. Because if you can continue to grow, you can grow 2 inches every month. But if you're having breakage of 1.5 inches every month, now your growth is slow. So how do we in society, we don't want to trim our edges, trim our ends. So how can we continue to grow in our roots while also having breakage on our ends because we're choosing not to trim it?
How can we move forward with a heavy ass bag on our back? You know what I'm saying? I understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like for it to really change, like for us to really care about humanity itself going forward instead of always fighting and shit. I feel like one of the main things we gotta get rid of is social media. I mean, not get rid of it, but we have to find a better way to use that shit, man, because that shit is holding us back. I think, at least, about especially mindset wise, like mental wise, physically wise, everything is holding it's holding humanity back. It's making people sit, just fucking watch videos or fucking beat their dicks or do whatever the fuck they do, but it's not helping push humanity forward. It only helped with communication. That was it, and that's not going well.
Well, we have examples of it being controlled in other parts of the world.
Social media?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. China, definitely. They control that shit.
Like in China, didn't they have some kind of like video game law to where you could only play video games for like 2 hours a week?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
They actually have, like, you know how we have like rehab for like drugs and all that kind of stuff?
I heard that.
They have rehab for video games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And there were kids in rehab facilities because they were addicted to playing video games all day. So they try to combat, okay, what's the biggest issue we have in our society? They decided to tackle video games. And when you try to attack a social issue like that, you can have good intentions, but it's ultimately probably going to look very like inhumane.
Yeah.
Because
too much order.
Yeah, it's too much order. Like there were dudes like breaking out of their prison and like they run down the street to the arcade
just to
play like a little arcade game.
So, yeah, they're making it worse instead of really helping them more.
Right.
It's making it worse. Yeah, because you can't, like you said, you can't force people to do anything, and that's one of the problems with like trying to figure out how to push humanity forward. It's like you can't force people to do nothing. It's never gonna work out.
So here, what if this is all natural selection? No.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it.
Exactly.
If there are those people that are like, yo, because I like my video games. So say it's like, yo, I'm gonna do that shit. I'm not working. I'm not doing none of my shit. That's natural selection at that point.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah. That's,
like, there's nothing wrong with this. You have to have that balance. If you don't have that balance, you're fucked.
Yeah. Humanity need that balance, man. Need order and chaos, man.
Like, I think it's fighting a losing battle because this isn't necessarily my opinion. This is just from what I've observed. This is what's going to happen. You can try to save your breakage, but eventually it will break off.
Yeah.
So why put so much effort into moisturizing your ends? You know, if I buy this product, studies say like, nah, if you have damage, it's going to break off. And if we relate that to society, this might sound kind of harsh. If people are going to fail, you got to let them fail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't save everybody. Everybody can't get on the ship. Everybody can't get on the space shuttle. And as we continue to waste time, resources, all this stuff on trying to save the bottom 10%, like, there's an opportunity for them to, like, they're put themselves there, in my opinion, a lot of the time. Like, the people who choose to not move forward. And you have to leave those people behind as we continue to move forward, like, figuratively.
That's true, man. You can't help everybody, bro. Like, you're going to help people so much. After that, you got to let nature take its course, man. It's going to take them where it's going to take them, you feel me? I was trying to explain that to my mom earlier about, like, just life in period. Like, hey, bro, you got to go do shit, take risks. Shit happens. Like, same thing with natural selection. Like, you can't help everybody. That person going to die and fall off the end. So it is what it is. You feel me?
Like the dudes who can't get any girls, right?
Yeah.
Like,
sad life,
are they thinking, well, one day the government's gonna, assign me a girlfriend?
Assign pussy.
Like, because this is not fair. Like, I should be accepted too. And like, nah, like, you're not being
Incels.
chosen because like you're the weakest link. The weakest link gets cut off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't want to be the weakest link, don't be the weakest link.
You don't have to stay there either. Like
You don't.
You can change. You can always change, no matter how old you are. You can always change because whatever problems you have in life, like that or anything else, it's a you problem. You know what I'm saying? It's something you're doing that is not, that females are not coming to you, or money's not coming to you, or whatever you want. It's not manifesting in front of you. It's because you're not making it happen. You feel me?
Right. Like if we take it in like less about like dating and whatnot, if we take it as like a lab that wants the brightest minds, are they gonna bring in somebody that failed all their tests? Like they're not gonna, because like if you take a pool of all people who try to be scientists, there are people who succeed in being a scientist and fail. Like you only let the people who pass get into that type of position.
Yeah, and get the recognition too. Yeah. That's very true. Oh fuck, man! Humanity, man. We're a bunch of fucking nutsacks just hanging heavy. If you know what I mean by that.
I know a little bit about that.
Oh fuck!
But I don't know. That's, like I said, it's interesting. Like, so you actually just sit down and think about, like, yeah, we're low key, like, they low key really are just coddling us with a lot of shit. And I know over here in America, it's like, bruh, it's how can we make a profit off of you? There's these people up here who have it, and they're gonna, how can we make a profit? And
It's all money game, man.
Well, in a perfect world, everybody works. Everybody contributes to society. Everybody does what they're supposed to do, and no one like causes any intentional like negative circumstances. The only negativity in the world are things that you can't control.
yeah,
And like that's the perfect world, but like there are always going to be people that cause like a negative situation.
Oh,
You can either cut those people off, which is kind of intense, or you figure out a way to just, you know, like keep that wound open, let it bleed. Like I'm not gonna cut my whole arm off.
since we're talking about people adding value to society, man, y'all see what Kanye said?
yeah.
The Alex Jones.
I said
A lot of
Kanye, niggas
examples.
like, oh fuck Kanye.
Like what you gonna bring up?
It's
Man,
only wild
let's
because
just-
today I'm wearing my Yeezys too.
Let's just talk about the value of human life, man. We can start off with Kanye. He said some wild shit on Alex Jones show. What is it called? InfoWars. Now, let's get this clear first before we even talk about this. Nobody here supports anti-Semitic things or comments or whatever. We don't support no Nazi shit.
I didn't even know how to pronounce that shit before.
You said what?
I didn't even know how to pronounce that shit before.
Anti-Semitic?
Bruh, no, I just seen the word like pop up a lot. And I was like,
But yeah, none of us are here anti-Semitic, and we don't praise Hitler and none of that bullshit. But Kanye said some wild shit.
I'm wearing the shoes because I bought them. This was well before.
I got Yeezys on too. I don't care. I'm keeping my
I bought
shoes.
them shits, bro. I'm
Fuck what
not
y'all talking about. These shits is nice.
burning them is not gonna do a thing.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop shit. It's not gonna stop Kanye for having his bipolar episodes. So it's not gonna stop it. But what Kanye say? Oh, okay. So Kanye was on InfoWars today. What was it 2 days ago? Like 3 or 4 days ago, and he's talking about how he's not anti-Semitic and that he loved Jews. But the problem everybody has is that he said he also loved Hitler, and he said he has love for Hitler, and Hitler brings value to he brought value to the society. This is words of Kanye, not the exact words, but along those lines. He say he see good in Hitler and stuff like that. Now, I was talking about this with Orlando at work, and the thing about value, like people bringing value, negative or positive, is a thing, right? So Hitler, let's say Hitler here. Kanye say he brought value. I don't. In Kanye words, who knows what the fuck value mean to him?
I mean, he brought value to the people who believed in the shit he was saying. They was like, fuck yeah,
okay.
but so the people who was like, us was like, oh my dude, I think you're wildin'.
Now let me get this straight. Hitler didn't necessarily bring, let's say, good values, but he brought a value of how we know he brought value to how we know we don't want things to play out, especially for if somebody have an ideology or a way they want people to live. Hitler route is definitely not the best fucking route. It never was the best route, and I think that brings value, knowing that like we can never let something like that happen again. Like I feel like that brings value to humanity, letting us know like it shows a way of how somebody could become a big ass dictator. Kenny Summer get cooked for this. I mean, I don't know how. I'm not agreeing with Hitler, and I don't like fucking Hitler. But like, I'm saying the only thing that he taught us is how not to be. I guess I should say. But I feel like that's how quote unquote he brought value. And value, I mean bad value, you could say, but good value in the sense of we know what to look out for if something happens, get that big again, and the world needs to stop it. You could say. What do you think about Orlando? I know you had a lot to say.
Well, I would say that as a person, is your value or like who you are as yourself, is it a sum of all the actions that you've done in your life? So with Hitler, obviously we know World War II, all that stuff, right? Mm. We can relate this to Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, even Martin Luther King Jr. All these people like achieved good things and bad things. Mm-hmm. So are you going to say, okay, this person did a bad thing, so all the good things he did, we're going to toss those out? So people who say Hitler is a bad person for what he did, you can absolutely say that. But you can't say, okay, he also, let's say he created chocolate milk. He was the first person to ever do chocolate milk. Does that mean we don't sell chocolate milk in Walmart? Because now chocolate milk is evil. That's not fair. Like Martin Luther King Jr. He did all this stuff during the civil rights movement, but there's also evidence that shows that he was cheating on his wife with white women.
They call him, man.
I do think Kanye West was talking about the duality of Hitler.
Yeah,
there is a duality.
Yes, a duality.
But the other parts, I just don't know, because I haven't researched too much into Hitler, so I don't know exactly what he's talking about. But
I think what he said, I think one example he gave was like he created like a highway system or something like that. So you could say, let's just we haven't really done our research, but let's just say Hitler created a highway system, right? Let's just go off of that. If Hitler created a highway system, imagine how many lives were saved by ambulance because they could get to a person's house because of the highway and then get them quickly to the hospital to save their life. How many lives since highways since Hitler, how many lives have been saved by ambulance? Let's say 50 million people's lives have been saved because of the highway system alone. But Hitler was responsible for 10 million deaths. So, how do you weigh it? He could have said that and cleaned his stuff up and said he was saying Hitler's my best friend. That's tough. But if he that's what you have to do. So with Bill Cosby, he did terrible things to women, but at the same time, he brought family values to the black community when it was at an extremely weak point, and inspired many people to keep pushing through hard times. He did a lot of good through that. But now, when he not necessarily made a mistake, but now he's done a bad thing. Now what do you do? What do you do with the good that you produced when now you produce bad?
Yeah, and it's the worst bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. It's crazy to sit there and weigh it out. It seems most crazy to most people. You gonna even think about the good shit he done? It's it's there. You feel me? What can you say about it? You can say it's not there. I understand. He's not a good person. I don't know if he's a good person. I can't say that, but he definitely did something to women. So I don't know, man. It's is it fuck Bill Cosby or?
Well, how would you feel if you got to heaven and Hitler was there? What would you think, or what would you say to God?
Oh shit! That was my
Word.
friend right in there, kicked me out right in there. Like,
you just
that's crazy.
That's a crazy question, right? That's crazy to think about. You go to heaven and Hitler's there, but then again, it's not crazy because if he's in heaven, I mean, God created everybody. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know if a hell or heaven is real, so but if it's just heaven and everybody goes there after, it's like whatever we did on earth, it kind of doesn't matter no more. You know what I'm saying? If I got to that point, I see Hitler up there, like, oh, okay,
Like,
I understand.
There would definitely be people who are like, I need to speak to your manager. Like, they go straight Karen mode up there.
Let me speak to the deacon.
That is
What the fuck is Hitler doing up here in heaven?
You see what he did?
What the fuck is this? Is this what God was talking about? He love everybody. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But
Yeah, you gonna be cooked. You gonna be cooked, bro.
fuck, man. Kenny keeps saying be cooked, bro. I'm not.
Look, we in the oil with you.
Yeah.
We in the oil
You won't
with
be cooked
bro.
now, just like 5 years from now.
5 years from now, I'll bring this up. Bing. Derek Swain said he supports Hitler. Whoa, what the fuck? I did not
That
say
never happened.
Never said that. Never said anything like that. Trust me, I do not like Nazis. You feel me? But fuck, bro, that's a crazy thing to think about. What would you think about that? If somebody as bad as Hitler or anybody like bad, like R. Kelly or fucking anybody bad, like if they got to heaven, what would you think?
Well,
if you got there, it was like, oh shit, what the fuck is this?
I guess from a heaven and hell perspective, I would be kind of shocked, but I don't like. I feel like I don't really view it like that. Like, I view it more on like when we die, like we'll just be the like Hitler to me wouldn't be that much of a shock because I feel like when you die, just your energy just gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to describe it. Like
No, I feel you.
it's just gonna like, yeah, it's not like I'm gonna go to this place in the sky or be around people with good acts. I just feel like people just gonna be here, just like how everybody's already here on Earth.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I guess like for the question, like being in heaven means you have a stamp of approval that you're good. So that's essentially the question. Like, what if like for some reason some higher power gave Hitler the stamp of approval that you are good?
well, from my perspective, I'll be shocked. But I know from other people's perspective, they wouldn't be shocked. And I say that because I have an American perspective, and I'm not from over there, so I'll be shocked if I saw him.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying like that. Like our perspective of Hitler is different. Like, cause you gotta think at the time, like he was the big guy, like over there. Like he had power, had people behind him. It was, it was crazy. Like people would think people would get behind somebody who's literally mass murdering millions of people, and like other people would get behind it. Now we don't know the state of the country at the time. Like, was it a full out dictatorship? Like people if said anything against it, you were goddamn thrown in jail or killed. I don't know how that went, but he definitely has support, and definitely from other countries too. Which is, it's like we can't forget that either. Like, what about fucking Italy? I think Italy helped them in World War II, if I'm not mistaken. Or fucking who else was with them?
I don't got my phone.
Let me look it up. But all these other countries too. It's like, do we look at them the same ways we looked at Germany? Do we look at their leaders the same ways we looked at the leaders of Germany at the time during World War II?
Pretty sure it was Japan, Japan, Italy, Germany, like the big ones.
That was the big ones, right?
Yeah, it was.
But like the ongoing joke is, Italy came out with food to help cushion the backlash.
They started making pasta.
And Japan came out with anime.
Yo,
Germany did come out with
Yo,
nothing, so they still
Dave,
get smoked.
Forget about World War II. We got spaghetti, bitch.
You see Naruto,
Like
nigga?
we're not so bad. Like we got uwu,
I
Like,
ain't gonna lie, they got me because yeah.
Yeah, pasta be hitting.
and then we were
Spaghetti
like,
hit,
you know
they
what?
got me.
We do like pasta, and we do like anime girls. We'll let y'all slide.
Tony. The fuck?
But
I got
yeah.
a Tokyo Ghoul tattoo. Yeah.
So do
I
y'all
forget
believe everybody brought some type of value to society, good or bad, of a person? Now, past that Hitler shit, like past Hitler problem, but just people in general.
Yes, 100%.
Good and bad people, do you think they all bring value to society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
I think there are far more people that only bring bad.
Why do you think that? What makes you think that most people are bringing negative energy to society? I say
Because there are people who go their whole life and they never do anything good.
Wait,
Like they don't help. They don't look to like take less so others can take more. Like there are people who live their whole life like that. Because that's because I believe our natural instincts is sin. And to be good means to fight against your own natural instinct. And I would say the vast majority of people are just going to operate off of what they naturally feel. And I believe it. Everybody naturally feels something that won't necessarily be good for society.
I don't know, man. I got faith in people picking the good side instead of their dark side, I would say. But
even then, what's good and what's bad?
exactly. That's what I was finna.
It's all perspective based.
Yeah.
Like I know what you're saying. I hear you. I'm just over here making conversation. Like real shit. Like what is good? What's bad? Like
Yeah.
it's like the whole thing of you see that man stealing that loaf of bread, but he's stealing it because he ain't got no food at the house.
mm-hmm.
You know, objectively, like yeah, stealing's bad, but my family has to eat. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so is eating good?
Yes,
Why is eating good?
if you don't, you will die.
Is dying bad?
Well, it depends.
That's perspective, bro.
Yeah.
I think eating and dying is.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. I think eating.
So
and
like I did a bad thing, stealing bread, so that I could do a good thing, which is live. So I don't do a bad thing, which is die. But like, see, you're like, you could say a lot of things like, oh, I stole someone else's bread so that I wouldn't die, but now somebody else's dies so that I wouldn't. So someone is still dying and someone's still living. So I would say society-wise, worldly-wise, is the balance.
See, that's the balance, though. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's duality. Like,
See,
that's the balance right there.
And the only reason I say that's the balance is because me and Deric talk about the duality. It's always going to balance itself out to 50-50. Like, no matter what you do. Like we was talking about drug addiction earlier. So say for instance, like somebody is addicted to drugs, but they don't know why. It could be because of something repressed, some repressed emotion or something that hasn't been expressed or hasn't been fully felt. Well, it hasn't been fully felt, but duality is going to balance that out. You're going to express it. It's just going to be expressed through drugs, rather than maybe in a healthy way. So that's just how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it's always gonna be like that, and that's why I say like everybody kind of brings value, like good or bad, because chaos creates change and order creates stability. Stability. You feel me? So it's like we need both. You feel me? We need both to survive. Like I can't say that's good or bad. Like he stole some bread from somebody else, and now he can't eat, but now he eats, and that's natural selection. You feel me? That's how I see that.
Well, then you have to say, is that good or bad? Because I would have to say in that scenario, that's bad. Like
I don't know.
you're not creating good.
It's not bringing humanity together. I would say that's not helping bring us together. Now, if we all come together and find out a way for everybody to eat, that could happen too. But them primal instincts are just in people, bro. Like they gotta kill somebody to eat. They gonna do it. You feel me? They're not gonna think of let me see if
twice.
But I do think that's what he mean about acting on sin more.
Yeah,
That's why I say most people do not contribute in a positive way to the world, because whatever they may be doing good, or depending on the circumstances, they're just doing what they got to do. That's majority of people, and those type of people aren't necessarily having a net positive on the world. If anything, they're balanced out or a net negative.
I feel like they still bring value though, man. Like, cause in a way we learn from that. You know, understand? We learn from that scenario. It's like, what can you do to fix that? It's like the chaos. Like somebody stealing from food, that's chaos, right? And how do you fix that chaos? Like, how do you change it? And that brings the value of like, how do you change it from that person having to steal food or not be able to get a job and afford to get the food to how can we help them or help everybody to be able to get food? You feel me? Like that's a way of bringing like order to that chaos.
Well, first thing I thought of when you just said that was the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix.
What about
Did
it?
y'all see that?
No.
Nope.
What's that
Watch
about?
that shit.
Okay, so basically he was a
I seen it.
You don't
I
know
know
Jeffrey
who
Dahmer?
he is, but I didn't
No,
watch
I
it.
didn't
It was a
watch the
little
Netflix.
too.
Oh, okay, but you know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like basically he was sentenced to death, right? And they were in court trying to collect his brain for
Studies.
study, right? And that could lean into what you just said. Like somebody could have done all this bad stuff, but they could still contribute to society in some way. And in that example, I think they ended up not being able to use his brain. At least like on file, they said they couldn't, but I believe they still did. It's a conspiracy. But let's say there was someone who was extremely evil, and they collected his brain so that they could study what makes somebody evil and how do we correct that. Like, but is that a net positive? Because like we said earlier, like let's say they study some evil dude's brain, they figured out, oh, this is the evil part of the brain. If we just take that out of people when they're born, now we just saved billions of lives in the future because now people just literally can't be evil. Like, is that gonna erase the bad things that they did, or is that person still gonna be evil?
No, it's still evil. You feel me? But then you could say, they brought good and bad to society. You feel me? The bad they brought was, Jeffrey Dahmer's bad was killing a bunch of black kids and doing that crazy shit to them. And you can say the good of it is that we caught them, and now we learned of the way somebody likes to think. We know how they think and understand it, and now we could probably stop it before it happens or shut it down as soon as it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I mean by like the positive that these type of people bring is so minuscule that it's best if they just like, you can argue that it would be best if they didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
so
You're
like-
saying that the value they did bring wasn't as much as the bad they brought.
Right, like let's make it sound like way worse. Like let's say we collected data from 1 million evil people,
CIA does that all the time.
and we came up with this formula. Okay, now we know how to fight evil. So then they fix evil. So each individual, like million people, contributed their millionth of a percent to do something good. So now they've done, what, 999% bad, but that one contributed to something good. Like, is that still acceptable, or are we going to tolerate that?
I mean, if we still using it to this day, we
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, so it's like, I guess it's so hard because it's like, so was it great value or was it not?
So
Like,
then I'm thinking of like a ripple effect, because I mean, I hear it,
yeah.
like, but say that 1/1,000,000th of percent thing that they did that was good was like something that rippled off to be something great. Like, say this serial killer ass motherfucker, he holds the door for the next Steve Jobs. We love Steve Jobs because he made Apple. You know what I'm saying? And he just feels so inspired that day because, hey, that serial killer dude, he didn't know him, was nice to him, held the door for him. He was having a shitty day. And he's like, you know what? This guy gave me some hope. I'm going to go along with my idea that I've been doing. And he changes the world.
And that would be the balancing out to me.
That's what she...
the balance of that, that good and evil, huh?
Go ahead.
I would say I don't think that individual person balance out their own evil. Other people have to balance out the evil of others. And that's kind of like what I contribute to my own life. Like I'm very aware of the vast amount of evil in the world. And like, I'm never going to think, okay, the world needs to be better. I'm going to think I need to be so great and so good that I outbalance all the evil out there. Like, I have to be the, 999% of good to help balance out like all the evil.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think it starts with you, because you being on your positive light or leaning more towards the good side of your energy, that's just gonna inspire other people. So you'll naturally like start seeing the change that you want, or start balancing out like what you would like to be balanced. Because it's just that's just how I see how it happens.
Be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
That's why I always was told, like, if I want to see something be different, I have to be the first to do it. And you do it, if you, like I said, that awareness off rip, that's like, okay, bet. I know we're living in this shitty ass world. I'm gonna do what I can. Fuck what all everybody else is doing. I gotta do what I gotta do to make it the best I can.
Yeah.
And that shit, ripple effect. That's just it rubs off on other people as well.
I don't think the world's shitty at all.
And another thing is, you said more people. I'm not trying to butcher. You said more people or lean into their bad, or there's more bad. Are you saying just people in general, or the powers that be?
It could be both. I mean, there could be, like, let's say, like, the vast majority of people are powerless, but there's still plenty of evil that goes on with powerless people. And then you have your powerful entities that do evil. So I think that even as an individual, you should try to do an exponential level of good throughout your life. And also if you were a business or something, you should do the same thing as a business, because there's going to be evil at all levels.
It's true. It's always going to be evil around, man. It's just, man, the yin and the yang, the Toyota say, the fucking yin and the yang symbol, the fucking the black and the white with a little bit of white dot and the black dot and the white one. Mm-hmm. It's always going to be around. It applies to everything. I always bring that shit up. I don't know, but I feel like it applies to everything.
It's life.
It is, man. Fuck, it's life.
I'm asking guys, what's your perspective on the world? Because I think the world we live in is a pretty shitty world.
It's a pretty shitty world.
Yeah, I mean, perspectively, I'm lit. But, I mean, I'm looking at, like, I just look at some of the other shit that, like, other people have to go through. It's shitty. A lot.
Super
Or, like,
shitty.
I know in America, we live in, like, I think this is definitely wrong, but I don't know the percentage-wise, but we live better than at least 80% of the people in the entire world.
In the United States?
Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know percent, but I know, like, that's a fact. It's a vast majority. Us over here, we live better than damn near everybody in the world.
I gotta say, bro, most in like the world, most people's lives are shitty. I mean, you right about that. Most people's lives are fucking shitty. If you're not in that top percent somewhere, your life is not the fucking greatest. And it's only not the greatest because we put value in things that have no value.
Nah, yeah, I mean, like I said, we complain about, you know what I'm saying, okay, rent is expensive. Cars are not being as manufactured. Food's going up.
Yeah.
But we have access to those things.
Yeah.
We might don't want to pay for it. It might be hard to get it, but shit, we here, we get it.
Yeah.
And it's like those people don't even have that. So that's why I say it's like real shitty.
Well, you can see the evidence, like America versus like some other place, like some of the top reasons why people die in America is eating too much.
Yeah,
that's true. We got the fattest people in the fucking world.
Like, where does starvation rank in America's death?
Yeah,
it is hard to really.
It's hard to
starve.
out
I
here.
mean, yeah, it's hard to starve.
It's hard to starve in
it.
America
because it's so many government assistance shit, like food stamps, WIC, like all type of stuff you could get.
Standing on the you the road.
You gonna freeze to death before you starve to death.
The reason Deric is laughing is because on like where we work, like you will see the same like 10 people every day
all the time
getting money and food all day long on the side of the road.
You know what I noticed about that? Those people who are like on the side of the road or that broke, like some of them I noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but it's a couple of them who have dogs.
Yeah,
like and I noticed like
that's a manipulation tactic.
You think it's a manipulation tactic? I don't
Absolutely.
know. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the only thing they feel like they have left as a person. You feel me? As a dog who actually loves them, who stay around.
I promise you, those people only care about drugs.
How do you, you don't know they're on drugs though. Here you always have this argument, Orlando. You do not know if everybody homeless is on drugs.
Please show me one homeless person that's homeless. Not like, oh man, I gotta live in my car because I, couldn't pay my bills. I'm grinding right now. No, I'm talking about career homeless.
You can say
career homeless that does not have a drug problem.
I know for a fact you get to that point. Drugs is a way to cope.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. It's like not everybody starts out as a fucking crackhead.
Nobody, unless it's mental illness. Nobody really says, you know what? I'm leaving these four corners and I'm fucking gonna go live under a bridge.
There is a couple people on Skid
There are
Row.
people like that.
Yeah,
there are.
Like I said, mental illness.
A few
Mental illness. That's what I said. The mental illness.
Do we tolerate those?
Them niggas
like that? Those
put them in the Arkham Asylum.
That's still
Tim
not
Dillon
good
said
though.
put him in a boiling pot.
Damn.
Sorry, he's using sarcasm.
What was the there's damn. Okay, I gotta actually write down this shit and actually get the actual site where I be saying this shit, because back in the day, I forgot who said this. Like back in the day, for people who were like that, who were suffering from mental illness, they were just locked up or just put in the hospital.
They had mental hospitals.
That's what I'm saying. They're just locked up.
And then when they shut that down, the mental hospitals, homeless went crazy. Apparently.
Exactly.
And I feel like that is mostly mental people, like mentally unhealthy people who's on the streets.
You have to, man. And it's like, because you think about it right now. Think about you. Would you give up what you're doing right now to go live on a bench? You wouldn't.
You probably work your hardest not to even get to that point.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say it's dangerous to underestimate how evil and eager to make bad decisions people are. Because it only makes sense to us, like, oh, I would never just throw away my life and be homeless. But look at how many homeless people we have. Look at how many of whatever type of people have. Like, it doesn't make any sense because we can't fathom it. But there are so many things that we can't fathom. Like the bad stuff that's in this world, like in other countries, like we really don't know like how bad it actually gets. Like, because we're limited by our own imagination, our own thoughts. So like we really can't fathom why somebody would be on the side of the road every day with a dog and a big gulp, 44 ounce, asking for money every day. And if you look to your left and right, you see now hiring signs at Wendy's. They will hire you at Wendy's, but you're choosing to stand there in front of the Wendy's asking for money. Like, that's why I have zero sympathy for these people, because if I see a career homeless person.
Also, it's not that easy to get that. If you're homeless, you probably don't have no paperwork, none of that stuff that you need to even get the job.
It might be hard to get a job at Bank of America, but I promise you it's not hard to get a job at Wendy's.
You might be right. Well, I know McDonald's definitely.
Yeah, McDonald's hire
definitely. They'll take your ass in the next.
FedEx will hire you.
The thing is, a lot of them, they let shit get bad to that point where it's like you don't have anything to even empower yourself. Hope. Yeah, you lose hope. Like, you need an ID. Oh, I don't have an ID. Because I said it's because I work with a lot of people who go through these experiences. And it's like a lot of them are so defeated. A lot of them had is what we call a regular life. And push comes to shove, shit happens. And now everything just rippled out of control. One bad thing led to this, led to that. So, and then you see them right there, coping.
Well, here's the thing. What you said earlier was we have it so great compared to the rest of the world.
We do.
Our homeless, in some cases, is better than middle class in other countries.
Yeah.
So then you have to say, okay, well, they're coping. They run into tough times. Well, like, what about the people who are dealing with way worse stuff? Like, they find a way to push through. So, like, that's why I say, like, no matter your circumstance, either your mind is weak or your mind is strong.
I think with the United States homeless, it's all mental.
It's all mental. It's not situation. It's not this. It's 98% mental.
Another thing, speaking of mental,
mentally defeated.
over here, like I forgot what over here though. I know we have problems with mental health and shit like that. I know, and we was doing sociology with our guy. He was like, in some of these other countries, they don't even have words in their language for fucking anxiety, depression, because they don't deal with that shit.
Yeah.
They probably do, but it's not like how we make it a big deal. It's like, yo, okay, I can be depressed. I have to get over this shit.
Yeah, like it's different when you surviving. You can't think. You can't think. Oh, I'm depressed.
Exactly.
I'm this and that. Like, and the people in tribes, they don't like those. Those tribes, they don't think about that. Like, I was watching one with my homie Jalen and Justin. We were just smoking a blunt, watching a fucking documentary about some African tribes, and it was like those. Even though they have to fight, like literally get food every day, they don't. Their mental don't seem fucked up. Like they wasn't acting depressed. They're not complaining about it. These dudes went 4 days without eating, 4 days without finding a dinner. Like they was hunting alligators or crocs, whatever the fuck. It went like 4 days without eating it, but I didn't see no defeating them or nothing. It wasn't like, oh, this is it. Let me kill myself. Like it just didn't. It doesn't occur to them. Like well, keep going. We're gonna go out tomorrow night. We're gonna find something eventually. Like that's how they seen it as.
Well, this is my conspiracy, right? So in a first world country, we've moved past that barbaric survival lifestyle.
I know what you're gonna say.
And now we've moved into what we talked about earlier. We're in a new thing. Now we're letting the weak come along, right? But we have to figure out a way to trim our edges, trim our ends. We encourage that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Why is suicide here higher than like majority of the world? Because that's a way to get rid of the people that you don't want, instead of just they naturally die. So now nature isn't going to take this person.
It's nature's taking selection, like, doing itself.
Yeah. That's not like that's us creating natural selection though, because like nature would have just like without even realizing, or somebody might be controlling that. We don't know.
George Soros.
But like,
I don't know the names.
Because like before the weak people would die if they couldn't eat. Before the weak people would die because they couldn't eat, but now the weak people die because their mind is weak, and they take themselves out, or they are told, "Oh, just have fun, do what you want to do." A lot of times, the people who are weak are like, "Oh, well, I'm going to do drugs. Oh, snap! I accidentally developed an addiction to heroin, and I died." Who was telling them to have fun their whole life? Ads on TV or your social media, or like go have fun. Like basically, what they're saying is, if you're falling for this, like this is how we want to get you out of here. Yeah, because we can't just throw you in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, no more. Like we want you to take yourself out.
It's like use your awareness against the people who's not so aware, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Have them do stuff they not even realize it's fucking them up more than anything. Yeah, like fast food.
Because we could fix homeless right now. Yeah, America could fix American could fix all their homeless.
It's a lot of land out here in Concord.
Like, but they would much rather there be homeless.
You make more money.
Like, first of all, you can make more money off of there being a lot of homeless. And two, these people are going to kill themselves. So, like, that's population control also. Yes. Sheesh. So, imagine making money off of population control.
So, you make more money off of prolonging the problem than solving it.
Right. Because, like, in China, they try to do population control, but they're not making money off of population control. So, they try to offset that by sending people to Africa, and now you can have more kids. So they try to like offset that.
I've heard about that. It's a lot of fucking people from China going to fucking Africa, and the Chinese have definitely been out there trying to like build a relationship with the people out there, trying to get them to build up schools and stuff. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what part, but I forgot what part. But I've definitely heard about that going on. You said what?
to the eastern side. Well, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually very interesting. I know a lot of Chinese Jamaicans.
Well, you know, in China you can only have one child.
Mm-hmm. One.
But
thought it was two now.
and the ongoing joke is, we don't want daughters, so they would, kill their daughters that were born.
I thought they were like,
But
sent
now,
to like some type of home or some shit.
Well, that's what they say, but I mean, we know how
China
gets
do,
down.
yeah. They do be saying niggas taking breaks. You don't see that nigga for 20 years. What the fuck he man? You said he took a break, nigga. He been gone for 10 years, bro. What
Like,
the fuck?
in China, you disappear, okay?
Straight up,
Like,
it's not it's true thing.
so like, if they had a one child policy, and I think they might have switched it back for many decades at a one child policy. So if you're a Chinese family, you're well off. Do you want a son or do you want a daughter?
See, but I feel like a lot of them was hiding the kids, extra kids, if they had one.
You trying to hide something in China?
Yeah, bro.
Boom! That door
Motherfuckers
kicking
don't
in.
play.
Yo, you're not hiding nothing in China, I promise. So like, but now their problem is they have too many men than women
Not enough.
in
That
China.
sounds terrible.
So like that's why now they have their own. They've created their own issues, right? So like their issue was that our issue was homeless. So you got to see which one's gonna win. We have way more freedom over here. We create problems because of that. They have way less freedom in China, but they have their own unique set of issues.
They got issues with coming overdoing it, like overcompensating for like the problem they have.
Yeah,
they always
like-
like overdo it and have to we overdid it again. We overdid it again. It's like they keep fixing it's like a fucking cycle.
Like in America, we die from eating too much.
Yeah.
In China, they die from working too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, stress.
Yeah,
They
that's
die from stress over there and shit. Overworked. Here we die from
they're-
eating fucking too many Big Macs.
I think their work week is definitely a lot longer than ours. Whereas ours is like a 40-hour work week.
They don't have a work week.
Yeah, they
have
work.
a-
Yeah, they
have a-
They are sentenced.
Nigga, you are sentenced to be in a mailman for 20 years. Oh,
25.
shit. That doesn't sound good.
75 hours a week minimum.
75 hours. No food until you get it done by 3
And
o'clock.
then you got people in America saying like, "Oh, well, the 40-hour work week is a."
We are complaining about that. That's
Yeah.
true. Goddamn.
Yeah,
It sounds crazy, right? When you talk about it out loud compared to like other countries, like dudes who work.
There's
80 hours a
168
week.
hours in 1 week, and we're
Yeah.
complaining about working 40. We're complaining about working less than 25% of the week.
Yeah. I feel like people wouldn't complain if it was better benefits for it though. That the
benefit
amount of
is
work
living.
they put in. Yeah, but I get it. But the amount of work they put in, they feel like they should get more back. It's like that American dream they lied to. It's like you get a job, get a house, 2 kids, you got 6 figures.
I
give you a bill,
don't
you
think that's a
good.
lie at all. Like, I think that people just
It's a lie how
people got greedy, because like the American dream is you come here, you work, you don't got to worry about disappearing, you don't got to worry about getting your head chopped off in the middle of the street because you didn't pray. You can just go to work.
yeah. Yo,
Yo,
You
no,
can
Lord, this might get us. This it might delete the Instagram. God damn.
But like all you gotta do is you gotta go to work. Do your 40 hours. And then what you do when you leave work, that's up to you. That's the American dream. But like now people are like, no, I should have, health insurance and I should have a 5-bedroom house. And like, nah, like
Lambo
do you
sitting
know
outside.
why we left like that half of the world? It's because, how they ran it, they didn't give you an opportunity to just do your work and then do what you want to do. That's what
They
the
didn't give you
American
opportunity
dream
to climb the ladder. Here you
Right.
got an opportunity to actually go from being the fucking on poverty, like poor on the fucking with nothing to eat in a fucking 1-bedroom house, maybe with fucking 3-4 kids, to in a couple years being a millionaire, and that's possible. You feel me? That is possible in America, but the problem is they lie about the way to obtain it.
Well,
To
it's on
obtain the
a
American
need to
dream.
know basis. You can't give up.
You
free
can't
game.
give out the game. It's like
Yeah.
I can't give out. You want to be rich? Oh, you can't give out that game.
Well, like here's the thing: you cannot be shit for your whole life, but then like become a millionaire when you're 60 years old.
What's his face? Ooh, I could finally bring it up. Haha. Boy, who made Kentucky Fried Chicken. He got his first meal. He was like 65 or some shit.
Oh, the old white dude.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't I
He
know
got his
that?
first restaurant when he was like 65, bro. Started making money.
Like, ain't no 65-year-old in Korea or whatever, like, popping out with some idea.
Well, what part of Korea? North or south? You talking north? Them niggas is who
Well,
knows what
North
they are.
is
Those
not
Americans
even in the
outside.
conversation. North Korea is another planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So South
My
Korea.
boy banned jeans and leather jackets. That's crazy.
He said jeans and leather jacket.
He banned. It was funny. I think he's hilarious. He banned leather jackets because people was looking like him.
That's fresh.
This
Niggas think
man,
he fresh as me.
he tried to
Fuck outta
ban
here.
Winnie the Pooh because of memes.
Wow, bro.
People were memeing him saying that he looked like Winnie the Pooh.
That's funny
Yo.
as fuck. No more Winnie the Pooh movies,
That
guys.
shit is so wild, bro. I mean, bro just has power to do shit, bro.
It's crazy, bro. This shit's so crazy. But damn, it's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is because you think like you think over here on this side of the world, and you look on the other side,
It's two different worlds.
two different things.
Two different fucking worlds. Like I always hear like stories of like people come to America and they just like, you motherfuckers is like baby fed. Like they look at us like we some bitches, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like y'all some
Yeah.
hoes. You feel me? Like y'all niggas
That's why
got
I'm
it easy.
Not all the time, but when the immigrants come over here, they be going ballistic.
Go
They be
crazy. Why?
eating.
Most immigrants come over here and they get fucking rich in a couple years.
They
like
be
it's
running shit.
Tell you,
nothing.
my grandma,
The gas stations, all the Indian niggas run it. You
my
feel
grandma,
me?
I'm telling you, when she came from Jamaica, she went to Canada. She was, bruh, she became a nurse. So like, she started off working in a fucking onion factory. I didn't even know they had onion factories. And she was doing that, learning in school to be a nurse, raising 2 kids with her mom, and getting her degree. You know what I'm saying?
Have you heard about like foreign people having better benefits or like incentives to come over here?
Nah, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I heard some people complain about that they got some like they get like a lot of good incentives to come over here, and that's why they're able to get like to that level in society that we can't, we don't get incentives as Americans.
They probably get both. Like, there probably are situations where they benefit from the affirmative action, but then they also benefit from willing to work for less.
Yeah.
True, that's true. That's like literally the fucking Mexican population is pushing like our whole fucking architect, like building houses and all type of shit. Like how many Hispanics do you see
Our
always working on
illegal
a house?
brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Well, not even illegal. It'll be the legal ones. And the reason why, a big reason why they're able to, let's say, like, quote unquote, work for less or whatever and try to, like, take all the whatever is because, like, they're a unit as a culture.
Yeah.
Like, 15 people will live in one house.
Yeah, that's
And they'll all be making minimum wage, but they all put it in a pot and they buy
care
another
of it.
house.
My dad was
They
just
buy
saying
another
that
house.
shit. Yeah.
that's how they do it.
See,
That's how we do.
I thought
Yeah.
maybe it was because a lot of them be illegal immigrants, so a lot of stuff
No.
they can't get in their name, so they had to like.
Well, why are they illegal?
Hmm?
Like, what makes an illegal immigrant illegal?
Oh, like someone who crossed the border without getting like a green card or anything.
Right.
Like not they
So
were.
why didn't they get the green card?
They had the money.
There's a lot of things they might not have had
Mm-hmm.
because there are plenty of people who become legal immigrants
Yeah.
from all countries, and if someone didn't get their green card, it's for a variety of factors to where okay they shouldn't be here, but like they are, which is why you see a huge spike in crime when you look at crimes committed by illegal immigrants. Like these are like not contributing people to society who can't even get access to a green card. Because like when money is the only issue, what happens? The whole family in whatever country pulls together the resources or little that they have, and they tell the best person in their family, and they pay for that person to go. And they go to America and they succeed, and then they bring the whole family. If money was the only issue, so now, if there's more than one issue, like there's a lot of rapists or grapists,
Yeah, don't say
Sorry.
yeah. Fuck, we gotta bleep the R word out. Yeah, they're gonna cut that shit.
Like
out on YouTube.
my niece was violated by an illegal immigrant in New York.
Okay, hold on. I don't want people to sit here and think that all illegal immigrants are fucking criminals, because that's definitely not true.
Look, my family.
I don't want to push that
immigrants.
message. You feel me? Like
My family is
No,
immigrants.
immigrants aren't bad, but like when your first step in the country is taking an illegal footstep, like how that's gonna set the pace for what you do here.
that doesn't mean they're a bad
it doesn't-
person though, bro.
I didn't say they're bad
I went
people.
to school with a lot of Hispanics who like parents were illegal, but they come here and they do hard work. You feel me? Like
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
They
But
come here and do
you're
hard work.
opening, like in my opinion, like my wife, she says like I'm a like, you know, I'm just always so negative. Right? that's probably been obvious this whole time. But like
You know, we living in hell, man.
like I'm on a mindset of I'm not really pursuing like these great accomplishments. I'm mainly focused on avoiding problems. So when I look at what could be a potential problem, I'm attacking that. It would be a potential problem if like I couldn't control myself around other women. Like I'm going to attack that. Like if it's a potential problem, if I see that illegal immigrants versus legal immigrants, if illegal immigrants are more likely to commit crime, like violent crime, like not just like, you know, scamming or something. I'm talking about like violent crime. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that they don't prosper here.
I mean, I hear you, but I don't think
I don't think-
all illegal.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
don't.
I don't think a majority of them are doing illegal crimes.
I don't either.
I just don't think that. I mean, because
I'm not saying majority.
man, niggas filling up prison is niggas, bro.
That's
It's black people. You feel me? I ain't hear about none, but I ain't hear that most prisons got most of Mexicans in them. You feel me? Or illegal immigrants.
But basically, like, this is a little bit off, but basically the reason immigrants be coming up is just literally just for the sole fact they be working together.
Yes.
And they work
It's
for
a better-
a
Strong
shorter
family
pay.
value.
yeah. It's better opportunities over here, and they know for a fact if we can help everybody get over here, we'll all be successful.
Yeah.
You know, it's more family oriented. Like,
That's
like I said,
right.
like that's when I was living in Canada. It was my parents, my brother, my grandma, her mom, my aunt, her daughter, my sister. It was like all of us in that one house.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did. My parents, they worked. I was too young for all of this, but they worked.
You really
Put
lived
some money. Yeah, I really. That's what I'm saying. I really lived it. So it's like that's why I'm like, trust me, us immigrants, we really be doing our thing, or whatever. And then as we were helping with the house, we put our money aside. We got a house. You know what I'm saying? And then my aunt, she did the same thing. My sister, she's working on doing the same thing. You know, the media does play a part in like painting that picture that's like, oh, if you're illegal and you're from south of the border,
Something bad. Yeah.
you're here for something bad. And it's like, no, fam, not at all.
Not every
you know?
Mexican or whoever. It's not even all Mexicans. It's people from Honduras, other different parts of South America.
And
coming
that's
over.
another part of the media that'll just
Like-
just doesn't even like
People don't-
acknowledge that about you
Yeah.
either. You're a Mexican. No, you're not.
People don't realize most of South
History,
America is
culture.
trying to come here. Like a lot of people in South
America
America
has, as much as we say it, like we live better than everybody. Like there's so much opportunity here. You know, that's why people want to come here. No matter all the bullshit that's going on, and everybody knows you can make money in America. Everybody does.
even if their intention's not bad, like they might come over here, you know, with good intentions, and then they get here and something fuck up, and they end up maybe selling a little drugs or doing this and that. But I don't think that's the majority, man. I don't.
Well, the
But
thing
I
that
don't know
America
statistics.
offers is attractive to all types of people.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, good people want to make money, but also bad people want to make money. So, like, people who get here illegally, like, what's the number one way they get in?
Number one way, nigga, the border. Like,
But, like, by what group?
you said what group? Oh, I don't know the most group, but I know
I don't
Like
know
the
that.
cartel. Like, the cartel smuggles them in.
smoke. Yeah, they do smuggle people in.
So,
By the boat.
you have good intentions. You want to come to America. You want to work hard. You're not going to be a criminal, right? You're not going to commit some violent crime. but you go to an evil entity to get you in.
I mean, cartel runs Mexico. I mean, they don't run Mexico, but they basically run Mexico, dude. Like, who else are gonna go to? I mean, like, that's their option. Now you can see it as good or bad, but if you out there, you stuck, nigga. If you see cartel,
I mean, that's
hey,
like the bread argument.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like you can't. I can't.
I mean,
see,
you do what you got to do. I'm not saying. I mean, do what you got to do. Like, you know, if you got to take your bread, I get it. You gotta steal your bread sometimes, but like you also have to be ready for you got to take responsibility for all of your actions.
I guess, but hey, man, America's where it's at. They're gonna come over here. They gonna get it, man. They gonna find their way, bro. And
media in America is also I don't like.
It's a lot of narratives being pushed in the media. That's why people don't watch the news as much anymore. I mean,
man, it don't matter if you're on the news. Don't matter if you're on social media. They're gonna push it because they know people aren't watching the news. So they're gonna get you on your social media.
That's what.
They damn sure know people ain't doing no research. That's a fact. We walk around with a fucking computer in our pockets every day, and motherfuckers don't know the simplest shit. The simplest shit whatsoever. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I very much despise it because it paints black people as if we're not shit. I
hear you on that, bro.
So much, like just the shit you was talking about. Oh, we're all in the prisons. That shit pissed me off because it's like y'all know fucking why we're in there. You know what's up. You know, and it's like
why are we in there?
Because of the situations we were put into. Like
what situations?
A lot of us have been in that situation where we have to steal bread, you know, and you got to accept it. But a lot of times it's petty shit.
I hear you. Like if somebody's pushing you back from getting somewhere, and your only route is that, and now they can sit there and look at you and say, "Oh, look, that's the bad person," even though they stopped you.
It's not the only route.
What do you mean?
It might be the easiest route, but it's not the only route.
True.
And I do agree, it's not the only route, but at this point, I don't even think it has to be with having a strong mind or a weak mind. I just think like in that environment.
That's what I'm saying. The resources that's in those environments, that's all that's presented to you, you know? And I would like to think that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people are going to think outside the box, but it's kind of hard to think outside the box when your only vision is that.
Now, for obvious reasons, because Kenny recruits people and he tells me the stories of the people he's recruiting. If you do have the victim mentality, I'm not talking about those people. But for the majority of people, like I'm not trying to be like I'm giving them a pass for doing the things that they're doing, but I do have to put in part like the environment and what is in their RAS.
Yeah, you got to look at their perspective. Yeah, man. Like you come out, you know what I'm saying, with a poor family. Your mom may be, you know, working at McDonald's or working 2 or 3 jobs, and the rent's fucking $1,200. You know what I'm saying? And you know the daddy issues we got.
All they got around you is shit that's gonna fuck you up. No healthy food options. You got your liquor stores, your gun stores, you got all them shits around you.
Ain't no gun stores in the hood.
What?
So, ain't no gun stores in the hood.
Pawn shops. You got shit like that.
Yeah. All them guns in the hood is illegal, bro. I don't know what gun shop, pawn shop.
There's hella pawn shops. Don't play with me.
I mean, but I guess.
I guess there's nothing of value. You come to my community where I'm at right now. We have schools in there. You know what I'm saying? We have Whole Foods and shit like that. We have
Earth Fair,
extracurricular activities. Like we have swing pools. We have tennis courts, basketball courts, and they'll have instructors come out there and teach you how to swim. You know what I'm saying?
So are you saying you need resources to be a successful person?
Somewhat. No, you don't, but how many people who don't have the resources actually become successful? Not a lot.
We in America.
I think more than the resources, I think you need a certain perspective. Mm-hmm. And that perspective is not there.
Yeah, they don't see that. Don't see the other way of going about it. Like how foreigners come here, their perspective is different. They might be living in poverty. I mean, right next to the gangbangers, but they see opportunity so differently because they weren't born here.
Like there were immigrants who have never used a toilet.
Yeah, but if you was born
Then they
here,
come over here and go to college
yeah,
and like use a computer for the first time, and you become like a whatever at a university.
It's just about perspective. Like,
And I think
say the person who's stuck out there, they're never gonna see it from an immigrant standpoint of all the opportunities they have because of. I mean, also because of like everything that's been going on for so long in America, it's hard for you to look at it in that perspective of that foreigner when they come in. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't see it as opportunities we got. They see it as somebody fucked us over and we're here.
Yeah,
and in a way it's true too, until you get to like a certain point where you realizing it and you understanding it. But that comes slowly. You feel me? It comes very slow.
Because with the immigrants who live worse than maybe the Americans in the hood, as soon as they get over here, they're like, oh, that's a fucking bet. All this opportunity, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Oh, we about to run this shit. But like the United States person that's in the hood, they're already in the United States, and the perspective that was painted for them, that's around the environment, what their parents is telling them, what they see and all that, it's gonna take. It can be done because there's already studies, but it takes a little bit more work for them to break out of that to be like, oh shit, like I can get out. They just need a couple plays and they're switching the mind.
Yeah.
Right. Like this reminds me
You got to become aware. You got to become aware of the situation.
This chick I met at my other job, she like we were talking, like religion came up, and she's like, "Oh, I grew up in this church," and I was like, "That's the same kind of church that I grew up in." It's like and then we're going back and forth, and I realized like similar with the immigrants and like people who are already here, she grew up in a Christian family, but then when she got to a certain age, she turned her back on religion and started doing her own thing. I was the reverse. I grew up in a family with no religion, and then I found it, and now I'm in it for life. So like it's like it's different. Like when that's all you know, a lot of times you're not gonna achieve the same degree as someone who chooses to be in this lifestyle. And like some people might say, "Oh, I didn't choose to be in America. I didn't choose to be in a place where like this is the best place on earth, but in order to get there, I got to work. I didn't choose that kind of life." But people who come in here as an immigrant, they are like they want all of that.
Yeah.
It's true. Shit, man. What time was y'all going to the gym?
After this,
Oh shit!
What time that is?
We got an hour 33. I know you got to get back booking it down to the G station. Guess we'll close it up here, but we'll definitely have you back on, man.
Yeah.
Those some good talks. So shit, we're gonna close it out here, guys, man. That was it for this episode 12. Kenny, Eric, me, Orlando. Nice talks. And that's it, man. We're out.
Stay hydrated.